Time to talk business with our partners Forsyth Barr. Silver and gold prices have been whipping around like a washing line in a wind tunnel. And a lot of that turned on who will the next head of the Federal Reserve be. With that and more is Gov't Bray, host of Herald Now Business. Gov't, good morning.
A lot to consider there, Ryan.
There was a lot to consider there, Gov't.
There's been a lot for the markets to try and work out as well.
Do you know what it is? It's that you've called yourself the host of Her Lad Business.
Oh,
which I don't think exists.
No.
Anyway, who is Kevin Walsh and what's he done to silver and gold?
Well, so Kevin Walsh is the guy that Trump announced as his pick to succeed Jay Powell as the next governor of the Fed. And that's been a really contentious issue because obviously there's a lot of sort of fingerprints over whoever will be in there. Will they listen and heed the president's call for lower and lower and lower interest rates in the US despite whatever the data says is required? And the fact that he's now named this guy Walsh, who was a previous governor, who was a governor during the GFC, Global Financial Crisis, 2008, and is seen as a slightly sort of safer pick, bit of a hawk actually on inflation, so possibly a bit less predisposed to just cut willy-nilly, although he's just one of 12 people in there, or been an influential voice. So the market reaction to that was pretty substantial. You saw, the dollar and bond yields drop a bit, and you saw gold, which has just been on an absolute tear, and silver, which has been going nuts. Both of them corrected quite sharply. I think the gold was down under sort of 4,800 at one point. 12% drop, maybe higher in some cases. Silver, massive drops. Basically, as a lot of the risk seemed to come out of the market. I think Bitcoin was down quite substantially as well, but there's a whole other story.
And is this because Trump could have got crazier? Walsh's action, because they're old mates. They went to Wharton Business School together, these two.
And apparently he's married to an Estee Lauder heiress, and yes. Trump's and those people are all...
They're all in bed together. But is the other market saying, well, this guy's better than...
He's the best, pick of the bunch, basically. Okay. So Jamie Dimon, everybody else coming in and saying, fair enough.
You can come out of your gold, corners for a second.
Apparently in New York City, some of the places that buy hard gold were saying, we're not buying any, or silver, we're not buying any today because we're just so worried about how volatile the price is, we don't want to take a hit. So there we go.
Winston Peters is letting a rip at anyone who thinks they will come for this government and rip them off.
Could it be an election year, right? This is pretty juicy though. So this is about the rail spur, which is it's a project that Kiwi Rail has been out consulting since December. They want to build a link from Marsden Point and all that infrastructure that's up there through to the Northern Rail line. It's like $1 billion project. I think there's only about 410 million allocated for it in the government's books at the moment. So they're going to need some private money in there. But apparently, this is our Thomas Manch on Business Desk has picked up some traffic, some internal documents at Kiwi Rail saying that people are expressing the worry that it'll be a bit like the rail ferries. We're going to climb into this thing and then suddenly the government's going to do a rug pull on us and say, no. To which Winston Peters in an interview says, I hope there's a massive unease among them because the idea of exploiting the New Zealand taxpayer and ripping them off when you have a government contract is finished, he said. I'm just going to add a bit of saucy commentary there. We are a grown-up show. I hope they've got it and they're shitting themselves and crapping themselves. This is Winston Peters in a direct quote, because those days of added value contracts, exploiting and ripping the taxpayer are finished. So he's really come out with both barrels saying, don't expect just to be able to price this thing up and up and up as you go. Whether that's going to cramp his chances of getting that private finance, I mean, there's no way that Nicola Willis is going to sign off extra money unless it's for health, education, defence or law and order, right?
Totally. And to maybe get yourself back into government, which is where Winston comes in. Now, could the government be about to do something to hold down the cost of insurance?
Maybe. So we've got Scott Simpson, who's the Commerce Minister, saying, look, we are looking at this. We are looking at affordability, and you've got a Treasury paper that's popped out that Dalipa Fonseca's picked up on, lack of competition in the industry, according to Treasury, basically saying that, look, premiums have risen 3 times higher or more than CPI inflation since 2011, more than 40% in the last 2 years alone. She's just escalating out of all proportion.
But wouldn't you look not just at CPI, but at the cost of covering the claims from the weather events?
And you've got, the Insurance Council out today, I think, with some data from surveys it's been doing with New Zealand policyholders saying, look, there's about 65% accept that because of the rising cost of covering climate-related events, we expect to see higher premiums.
Yeah.
But at the same time, right, we've got some research there that says on a particular measure of profitability that New Zealand insurers, combined ratio. We won't get into the detail of that unless you want to take a look at the article. But we basically here, they are considerably more profitable than US firms, than Australian firms, than UK, Canadian, and German, French. Basically, doing a pretty good job of making a profit. So there's maybe a bit of margin there. Now, what the result will be, maybe another market study. Gosh, that'll be.
Oh, God. Don't do it to me.
Oh, no,
Another
I just gave you some hope and then I took it away.
We're being fleeced. We get another report.
Yeah.
That costs us $500,000 to make.
And maybe doesn't move the needle much anyway.
All right, Garth, thank you very much. I like that. That's good stuff. 16 minutes away from 8 o'clock now. That's Garth Bray, host of Herald Now Business.